I be Jay when till I die, and welcome to a whole lot of game shit / Twitch. I be your home fucking boy, and we are back, yes, back into the Rocket League replay collection, but 2K26 Volume 1. You already know what it is. This is the part where I just review on saved replays that I never showed you guys. So, you already know what it is. It goes straight to pretty much all the way back. And we're going as far back as January 21st of this year. This is a 2v2 game, 6-5, and I don't even know who I was playing with, so let's find out. Anyway, so this is between me and my son. Okay, cool. So this is me and my son against two randos, I believe. Yep, in competitive 2v2 gaming. So none happened in like the first couple of seconds, but then he sets up that pass for me so I could score the goal. And then a couple seconds later, making another one from this pass right here. Fold them pretty nice, I'll tell you that. So then, as time went on, we ended up making another shot. And that was pretty much all me right there. But then they came out with the save right here when I was trying to attempt this shot right here. They saved it right there. And then we messed up in this possession, and they ended up scoring their first goal. Which I ended up backing up like an idiot. So there's that. And then I tried to make a goal right here. They saved it. And a few seconds later, there was a save, but at the same time, there was a goal. So it was 4-1, our lead, pretty much. We were dominating. But then they were trying to score right here, and I ended up with the save. Yeah, I had a great game this time. But he blew up my son, which I was like, hell no. but I ended up hitting that shot to make it 5-1. And then they tried to take it from us, but then they saved it right there. They hit it again. They tried to do a setup here. There was a save there, which that was kind of bullshit, but then my son ended up with their shot, and he made that goal. And that was it from us, because after that, it was just them the whole time. See that right there? That was them. That's a save right there. We both got faked. He made that goal, right? So now it's 6-3. And they ended up hitting that crazy shot. Didn't even think they could do that. So now it's 6-4. 40 seconds left on the clock. So then I tried to make that in, and they saved it. And then I fucked up because nobody was back there, and I should have fucking went back there, but that didn't work. And yeah, they scored their last goal right there, which left it at 6-5. And that's how that end, pretty much. So there's that. Got that win. All right, another 2v2, which I believe it's still my son and me. Yep, it is. So we started off with the possession. I tried to score. They blocked it. That was a great block, by the way. I'll give them that. So then we ended up pushing for it, and we got our first goal by none other than my son. My son ended up making that first shot, so I was like, hell yeah. All right, great start. So then, over here, during this time, I hit it up just so he can make the shot, and right there. Well, that was me, but yeah, you get the drift. So then we try to make another one right here, but then they saved it right there. And then pretty much a couple seconds later, they hit it. I tried to get back there. I didn't make it in time. They scored one. Now it's 2-1. So over here in this possession, I ended up with a quick save. Well, my son ended up with a quick save, sorry. I thought I was back there for a second. So, you know, a couple back and forths here and there. Then, luck as you know it, ended up with us again. Now, look at this shit, right? So I ended up hitting this, and then they hit that. And then he came back around, and I was like, oh, shit. So I had to turn right back the fuck around just to make that shot. That was crazy work. But anyway, now it's 3-1, 2 minutes left on the clock. And I was like, no, I want more. So guess what I did? I set one up for myself. Yeah, I was making goals that time, I'll tell you that. But over here, we got a crazy save right here. I like this one right there. Bam, you know what I mean? Like that's that crazy saves right there. Well, not for me, like, because you know the crazy saves is like pretty much like risky saves. See, over here they tried, yeah, but you know he blocked them. I ended up sending it, and And yeah, that was me. Once again. And that was pretty much it on our side. Like, we scored 5, but they ended up scoring this possession right here. And then during the time, we tried to score another one right here. But they saved it crazy. I'll give them that. Like, they saved it really good right there. Like, that was pretty cool. I missed it like a jackass. But yeah, that was their final shot. But before all said and done, Sun came through with the save one more time, and there you have it. 5-3. Alrighty. Now, I believe this is another game of ours, but this went to overtime. So nobody scored, like, for a little bit, you know what I mean? It took us a while for any of us to score. But then, around here, this is where everything shifted, as my son hits it up with that type of shot and got blown up. Ain't that some shit? So whatever. 2:56 on the clock. It's 1-0. We're leading. I tried to do something there, but that didn't work out. And then he hits it, but I save it. And it goes straight in because I literally pinched it off of him. So that happened. So now it's 2-0. Our lead. A little bit goes by. We try to make a third shot right here in this one, but they ended up saving it, which that was good on them. But then, as luck as they know it, they ended up making their first shot. So now it's 2-1. And over here on this side, a couple seconds later, I wasn't back there, and they tied up the game. So now it's 2-2 with literally 2 minutes left to play, right? We're thinking, okay, how is this gonna work? Well, I went off. So basically, it was 3-2, our lead, and then a little bit more went past by, and then they ended up making their freaking next goal, which that was my bad because I blocked him, but it didn't do anything to get him out of the way. So that was my fault there. So it's 3-3 with 1:18 left on the clock. And that, they blocked it, so whatever. So then over here, we were like, okay, cool. And then Andrew right there saves it right then and there. That was fucking awesome. And then he made that shot. It was very dope that, you know, my son is improving a lot more each time he gets on Rocket League. Like, it's very dope. So they ended up scoring right there, right? So it's 4-4 with 12 seconds left on the clock. I'm going to let this play out for the rest of the time so that you guys can see, like, what transpired. See, like, we could have had that, but he missed that, so it was all right. It was like, okay, we got this. Don't worry about it. So now I went to overtime. And now we're trying to score as time goes. I hit it, and they hit it right back. And then they tried to score. And I said no. Ain't doing that. I ended up blowing them up. They set us up. Right then and there for us. And that's how we won that overtime. That was dope. Another 2v2. Wow. Again, me and my son doing our thing. Over here, I ended up with the save. That was pretty crazy. I like that. But then, we came up with another one. Right around here. So I ended up with 2 saves off rip. That was pretty crazy. I didn't even think I could start it out like that, but I'll take it. So then, they actually made their first goal right here. Could have fooled me, you know what I mean? Like, but whatever, right? So, yeah, that was too high for him. I was like, damn, I fucked that up. That was my bad. So then I was like, let me do it again. This time different. And right then and there, he got it. I was like, yeah. All right now. So now, it's tied up. And as of right now, we're over here trying to get back. I ended up saving that. So now I have 3 saves off rip. By the way, you're in this. Crazy. But right here was a crazy save here. Like, bam. My son ended up saving that. So that was awesome. I was like, fuck yeah. Then ended up hitting that just to like make sure that they don't get to it. This guy saves it. So I was like, damn. There's a lot of fucking saving going around here, but not enough scoring. So whatever, right? So then, oh, wait. They ended up fucking saving it right here. He went around. I tried to score. Saved it. Damn. I was like, alright. It's fine. But then, they ended up making this shot that I ended up fucking missing. And then he missed. And then right there, he sets it up for him. And he makes the shot. But little did they know that that was literally the last shot that they were going to make. Because soon as time flew by, all of a sudden, we ended up picking up the pace. And I ended up with that hit, but he ended up with the save. So now over here is where they did the mistake, do that, and I hit this just to make a goal. So now it's 2-2 with 122 left on the clock. So I thought, okay, they giving up? Nope, they have not, because they saved it right there. But then, as time literally went by, we said, we gotta score, we gotta go ahead and handle business. So, from here, this is where it got real, because now they can't handle it. They're getting crossed, and yeah, that's how the game ended on us. 3-2. And I would have thought that my son would have had the MVP because he was the one that made the most goals in that time, but that did not happen. So I'll take it as it is. Wow. Anyway, So now my son ended up switching to the Viper, and I stood with mine, obviously. But over here, I tried to set it up for Andrew. It didn't work out. I was like, all right. I missed that by stupidity, and I know I did. But they ended up making their first shot. So now it's 1-0. As time flew by, we ended up making our first shot right here. I didn't say Viper. Whatever, my bad. My bad, Corvette. Sorry, because I thought I said Corvette, but I guess I said Viper by accident. So, I guess I was thinking of Randy Orton. Anyway, so, right there, they fooled us, and they ended up making that shot, so now it's 2-1. After a little time went by, Andrew almost made that shot, but then I came through and said, fuck that, that shit has to go in. So, yeah. Now it's 2-2. 3 minutes left. We tried to make another one right here, but unfortunately, they ended up saving it right on the cue. Crazy. So then, time kept on flying because it was going back and forth, but we ended up scoring another shot, which right here. I missed that, but yeah, good thing Andrew was there to make the shot for me, because man, that was horrible. I thought I messed that up and passed it to them, but no, it didn't work out like that. So that's a good thing. I can't believe they missed that shot. Actually, hold on, let's see that. Oh, that's what happened. I thought they were trying to, yeah, they were trying to slam dunk it home, but that did not work out. So then over here, I tried to hit that power shot, but they saved it. Like, that was pretty dope. I'll give them that. Time kept on passing, as it was still 3-2 in our lead, but they tried to score, it did not work out, and he tried to block it, but that did not work out. And now me and my son are tied up in 2 goals apiece. And during the final seconds, we said, let's be relentless, and let's score one more, just for the hell of it. Watch this. Like, the game was over, and you let that happen. Look at that. You bounced it over there. I hit that. You hit that just for Andrew to fucking make that shot. That is fucking crazy work. But he did the damn thing. But, yeah. I should have deserved MVP, but it is what it is. Now, 3v3. This is all from the same day, too, which is crazy work. Huh? I think 2v2 more. I like 2v2 a lot more. So in the starting possession, which was me, Elmo, and Daniel, shout out to y'all. Elmo ended up saying, fuck this shit, let's start off with a banger, and scored. Already. I didn't even tell him to do shit. He just said, fuck it. You know, like... So he tried to score that. That didn't work out. So then time passed by here. And then Elmo came through with the save right there. But I ended up with the fucking shot. So now it's 2-0 with 4 minutes left on the clock. And time just kept passing on because they weren't doing anything to score. But right over here, they almost had the first goal, but I don't know who even saved that. Hold on, let me. Oh, that was still Elmo. It didn't even get me. But okay, I'll take it. Whatever. They still tried to score. Did not work out. Now we tried to score here again to make it 3-0, but they saved it. And then they tried to score their first goal here. We saved it. But I think that was me this time. Yep, that was. And then we tried to score again, but saved it. And it just kept going and going and going. And I'm not even trying to quote the Energizer Bunny. But during the final minute, he tried to score, didn't work out. But in the next few seconds, we did. And I ended up freaking getting blown up for it. Well, they can go fuck themselves, because at the end of the day, they got shutting out. 3-0. Anyway, 8 days later, we did a 4v4. Now this was everybody. This was me, Daniel, ARS, and Elmo. This is the first day that Elmo met ARS, but at the same time, this is like all of us being teamed up for the first time, so it was kind of a weird outlook, but you know what? It worked out at the end of the day, so yeah. So over here, we tried to score, but they saved it right there, which that was crazy work. And then it just kept going back and forth. We didn't even fucking score. None of us scored for like a good 3 minutes or some change, whatever. But over here, they ended up scoring their first goal after I hit that, and then they fucking started their play. And yeah, they ended up scoring their first goal. So I was like, all right, fine, whatever. So now I'm like, all right, well, let's regroup. Let's do our thing here now. So right here, ARS was with the save. They tried to score, didn't work out. Daniel tried to hit it, didn't work out. I hit it forward. They blocked me. But at that point, you know, we found out that, well, somebody needed to score, and that person became Daniel. So Daniel ended up scoring our first goal. But then a few seconds later, Daniel scored again. Who would have thought, right? Like, so anyway, 2-1, 1:30 left on the clock. Nothing was going on during the time. We tried to score here. We saved it. But then they definitely tied it up. And now it's 50 seconds left. So we tried to score as much as we can. I tried to shoot. They saved it. But we went to overtime. Now watch this ridiculous shit. So first things first, it went to our side, but then Elmo hit it to the other side. I tried to go ahead and score. That did not work out. So from here, I thought, let's set it up. Fuck it. Elmo almost had that shot, but it was too high. So I was like, okay, that's fine. They'll just try to keep it on our side. So, whatever. We tried to score right there again. Didn't work out. I missed that. I was like, damn. So then over here, Elmo was like, okay, let's try again. And they ended up hitting that. And yeah, that happened. So look at it again. From right here. I didn't touch it. But ARS did. And that resulted in that. So me and Elmo didn't have to do shit. Crazy work though.
ARS just said, let me help out real quick.
But there's that. Next day, 2v2. Damn. Oh, this is between me and my son again. So I ended up scoring the first goal after, like, you know, a few seconds delay. My bad. You know what I mean? So my dumbass thought I could make that, but that didn't work out. But then they ended up making this one out of blowing me up, which, smart idea. So whatever. It's 1-1. 4 minutes left. There's a reason why this replay is short. I didn't know I could pull that, but I did. So then over here, I hit that, and it hit the fucking top part of the fucking crossbar, but it went in. So I made another one. And now it's 3-1 with 3 minutes left on the clock. Who hit that? Oh yeah. So yeah, it was me and him that ended up hitting that, but for some odd reason, that was pretty crazy. I told Andrew right then and there, I was like, yo, listen, I don't give a fuck who scores it, just make it in. You know what I mean? But he let me have it, so I was like, alright, cool, I appreciate it, I guess. So then nobody scored, and then right here was pretty much their pinpoint. They forfeited. 5-1 was the score. Jeez Louise. Alright. Another 2v2. Coming right up.
Kobe.
I know, right? That's what I thought too. But me and my son again, teaming up. Already, bro. Like, but you didn't even know where the hell he was. Look, he was already getting ready right here. Ready? He hit this just for my son to be like, yeah, like crazy work. So I tried to make this shot and they blocked me. So now I almost fucking under hit that, I guess. Well, I don't know what the fuck I did, but bro, I fucked up. Went under the ball. And they made their first shot. So now it's tied up 1-1. But then as time, you know, went by a little bit, I hit that shot. Can you believe that I hit that shit? Look at this shit. No, hold on. I want y'all to see that shit in fucking slow motion just so you can see what the fuck I'm talking about. Look at this shit. So first of all, I didn't know I could pull this shit off. But second of all, who would have thought that all I needed was just a little bit of boost and a little bit of power and a little bit of direction. So from right there, I hit the ball on my side of the car. I flew for a little bit, and then I turned my car upside down so it could take another hit, but a different way. And it curved all the way into the fucking goal. Never thought in the fucking day in life that I never thought that I could pull that shit the fuck off. But I did. Jeez Louise, bro. Anyway, so 2-1, 4 minutes left on the clock. And, you know, we're trying to score another one. So, at that point, they tried to score. I saved that. Time went on. Didn't even bother to, like, you know, make a shot between both teams. But over here in this possession, I tried to do something here. I fucked up, and I bumped them, and then I was like, shit. And then I fucked up by doing that type of shit, and then he crossed me to make that in. Like I said, I'm human. I'm not a robot. I can definitely get crossed and, you know, be fucked over. So, yeah, there's that. So, they scored another one, but, little did they know that was pretty much the last one that they were doing. So, there's that. So there was their last goal. Time went on because, you know, at that point, none of us wanted to make a score, I guess. I just don't know why. I don't know how, but it is what it is. And I'm not here to confront it. I'm just here to talk to you guys about it. But over here, my son tried to go for it. I hit him. It didn't work out. He passed the fucking ball by accident. And then I ended up making the goal to tie the game. Now, I'm going to let it go to overtime. And that's up to you to decide on how this played out. Yeah. It was my son. My son ended up winning the shot. And he was the MVP of the game. At that point, he deserved it. But there was a lot more points that he deserved it a lot more than I did. But in this game, he definitely deserved that. So, shout outs to my son for that. Love you, boy. Anyway.
I called that your mom in my DM face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy.
That's crazy work. Anyway, February 3rd. Yeesh. Now, for this one, I believe it was me and Elmo during the time. Yeah, I know. But, yeah, they ended up with... No. Yeah, no, yeah, I'm past that now. I'm in February. So they ended up saving it twice right then and there, but then we saved it right there. And during the time, me and Elmo, like, we've been, like I said, we've been best friends for a long time. So we're trying to, like, you know, get our chemistry back to pretty much our feet, pretty much when it comes to Rocket League. Because Rocket League is very, very competitive and it's very sweaty. But at the same time, you try to, you know, compete and make sure that you pretty much have your, you know, your P's and Q's intact. You know what I mean? So at that point, there was 3 saves in the beginning. 2 of them were for them and 1 from us. And nobody scored for the time being. Like, nobody scored for the first 2 fucking minutes. But they did at first. And we both missed that. So there's that. So during that time, it was like, okay, let's get back, let's handle our business. Little did they know that that's the only fucking time that they scored, though. That's the fucking crazy part. Not trying to, you know, toot my own horn here, but this is where shit got really, really real for both of us. So yeah, they ended up saving them right there again. But we said, no, this needs to end. And I ended up scoring that. I think I was pissed off that day because none of us were making a fucking shot for like a good fucking almost 3.5 minutes. Until I made one. So then during the time, they'd still be going. Mind you, it's 1-1. We're close to the end of the fucking game. We tried to score here. My dumbass hit a fucking weak ass shot. But whatever. Neither here or there. Then they brought it back to our side. And bam. Almost saved that. And during the final seconds of the game, we said, yeah, we'll end it. Mind you, he ended up with that great pass right to me. But we weren't done. We said we wanted to put the nail in the coffin. So, what better way to do it than me with him? We ended up doing that for each other, just for us to make the shot. And they ended up forfeiting with 3 seconds left on the fucking clock. Couldn't even run it to the end. Bunch of wusses. But whatever. Another one. Damn. Okay, so now it's me and Elmo again. None of us scored in the whole fucking beginning of the fucking shit. So, mind you, we're already halfway towards the game, right? I ended up hitting that like a fucking idiot, but whatever. Neither here or there. That was a crazy shot. That dude came from left field. Look at that. Like, that was crazy. I like that shot. So that was a good one. But, little did they know again, like I told you, that was the last shot that they were going to make. Because from here, we stopped playing around. So Elmo with that save, he kept it going over this possession. And I said, fuck yeah. So I ended up making the first shot, right? So it's 2-1 with 1:22 on the clock. None of us did score for a little bit. But right here, is where that changed. I ended up hitting that just so I could set it up. He hits that like an idiot, and then he hits it right towards him so he could be an idiot once more, and fucking hit it off his car so he can make his goal, which is crazy work. Insult to injury. Fucking wicked. Wicked. But anyway, so yeah, it was tied up 2-2. Nobody scored for the time being. But then in the final seconds, he did this mistake with me. And he did it like an idiot. Because right then and there, I ended up scoring at the final 15 seconds of the game. And that is how we closed out this game, 3-2. They tried, but they failed. Shutout. Now, we kept this team in 0. Like, we did not care on how they felt at this point. Like, we were on fire already. Let's be honest here, okay? And this was competitive, too, which made it even more worse for them. Elmo already started with his first shot. Right through both of them. Crazy. Dude said, nah, I'm gonna take my risk. Like, fuck that shit. So then right here, he ended up with this pass. I tried to make it didn't work out, but I ended up passing it right back to him so that he could make the shot. So now it's 2-0 with 4:20 left on the clock. Huh? Why?
You said 2K26.
Yeah.
It's not owned by people.
No shit. But they don't own that fucking... They don't own that name. Obviously, it's 2K26. That's 2026. I'm not gonna say the whole fucking shit. Besides, I've already been done that already. They haven't said shit to me already. And if they want to, I mean, shit, send a cease and desist on the word 2K, and I'll fucking take it off my shit. Gotta see it. Gotta see it to believe it. Because 2K was around before 2K even existed. But anyway, time went on. Nobody scored during the time. It was 3-0, our lead, and Elmo was definitely fucking going off, but I scored at least one goal. But then right here was where they made the mistake of doing that, because Elmo said no. I tend to end that. So he was the MVP with 3 goals. I only had 1, but hey, teamwork makes the dream work. And that's how we shut them out, with 2 minutes left on the clock. Rage quit. Yep, we got a rage quitter. Also 2v2 into something. So me and Andrew right here, he ended up with that save, so I was like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? That's not gonna happen again, right? So we're like, all right. So from here, Andrew was like, yeah, fuck that. You guys left an open net for me? I'll take it. So whatever, right? He made the first shot. Little time went by. And this is what made them rage quit. Yeah, if little did you know, it was all my son. It wasn't even me. I didn't even do shit. I just only scored 65 points and didn't do a damn thing. So, like I said, shout outs to my son for that. Why? I'm not sure as to why I called it why. But me and my son again. And we made the mistake of not being there. So that was our fault. So they made their first goal, 1-0. Time went on, and my son set me up with the pass, and I executed. So now it's 1-1 with 3:48 on the clock. And over here, my son tried to block him, didn't work out. I ended up trying to do some type of dumb shit, didn't work out. And he hit a high corner shot. Which again, like I said, that was my fault because I was an idiot. I tried to set up Andrew right then and there, didn't work out. But I came through and saved it right there, which that was ridiculous. I didn't even think I could save that. But it happened. So then I tried to score right here. He saved it. Time went on, going back and forth as per usual. And we tried to score right here to make it tied up. And nope. Did not work out. Time went on for a little more. And then over here, he got that, yes. But my son ended up saying, no, fuck that. I'm making that shot. So now he scored one. And now it's 2-2 with 1:46 on the clock. And over here, I pulled that shot. Mind you, I did not do that, but my son ended up with that pass to me, which I ended up demolishing right after. And I'm believing now that this is the part where I said why. Because I think it was just all me scoring. Yep. Yep, it was. It was well worth it.
Old seeing that platinum tournament winning.
That is true. A few days later, 2v2. Yay! No. I forgot who this was. I think this was a rando? No, I don't think so. Now I'm thinking about it, I don't know if this was a rando or if this was one of my boys. I'm trying to figure that out. I don't know. But anyway, he made that shot, right? So it was 1-0. We tried to make another one right over here, but that didn't work out. So I was like, all right, whatever. We tried to do that. Didn't work out. So during the time, I was like, okay, cool.
have to do it clean. And the name's like that. If you clean, it still shows up.
Yeah, true.
Look
Look at this. So yeah, basically we ended up with that save there. He tried to score here. Saved it. So I was like, alright, cool. But over here, they ended up scoring out of my stupidity. Of course, like a fucking idiot, I would. But from here, this man ended up passing it right towards me. And ended up making that goal, so that's 2-1. Sets it up for me. There you have it, another one. Now it's 3-1 with 1:14 left on the clock. Route 114, that is. But in the final seconds, I said, let's end it. And there you have it. That's how it ended. Three v 3. Damn. Or in this case, damn. But anyway. Oh, shout outs to Tony and ARS. They were with me on this day. So, mind you, nobody fucking scored this whole fucking game. And then, don't get me wrong, there was one save each. One from me, and then one from the other team, which was Isaac Johnson. Crazy saves. Like I said, this whole time, nobody scored. So when we get to overtime, and on the other hand, that's when things really shifted. And you're not gonna believe how it shifted. Yeah. I don't even know how that happened. Mind you, let me put this on fucking 10%. Okay. So I'm over here, right? I'm boosting. Come through with the jump. Bam. Hit it off this guy's car. And then I let it fly the hell up. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, if it hits the wall, then I'll jump and grab it. But if it doesn't hit the wall, no matter what, I'm still going to jump and fly to grab it. I didn't think it was just going to go in just like that. So I kept looking, seeing if I needed to jump. I jumped just to make sure. This guy misses. And wouldn't you know it, I ended up still making the bitch with 14 seconds on overtime. It was bullshit. But at the end of the day, I'm called Mr. Bullshit for a good reason. And that's how that ended. Easy W. Now this was in hoops. Oh. Kicked me out. Oh, I can't see it? Oh, that's whack. Alright, whatever. Either way, it was a shutout. You know what I mean? I can't really tell you how it went because you can't see it. But I didn't score. Shit. It was actually all Elmo that scored. So that's pretty much what happened during that game, pretty much. So now, 3v3. Definitely freaking a tournament. I was teamed up with randos at this time. We tried to score here. They saved it. But a few seconds later, they ended up scoring that shot right around here. I was like, alright, that's fine. 1-0. Okay, we can come back from that. But they ended up with, well, my bad, not they. We ended up with a double save. Just like this. That's 1, and that's 2. Shout out to Colombian for that. Because we played that one pretty nice. I didn't even think we could save that, but we did. But we tried to score here, right? They saved it, but he sends it right back just so I ended up with the shot. And I was 1-1. So I was like, okay. They tried to score right there, but they saved this. So I was like, okay. Alright, fine. We'll find another way to make it, right? So then, they ended up scoring right there. As you may see, that was supersonic. So then we tried to score right here. They saved it. So I was like, okay, enough with them saving the fucking ball. Let's try to make shit in now. And that's exactly what we did. Exactly, with 60 seconds left on the clock. So now it's 2-2. As the game kept on. Kept on and kept on. It was tied up, mind you. So, right here, we said, yeah, we're gonna tie this. We're gonna take the lead on this one. And, yeah. That's what ended up happening. I don't know what the fuck happened. Oh, okay, I ended up doing that. Okay. So, yeah. Mind you, still seconds. And then this guy ended up scoring at the end. And that was it. That was pretty much it. 4-2. But we ended up getting eliminated from the tournament, so that didn't mean shit. So anyway. Now, 4v4. GG. Which stands for good game, if anybody don't know. This is all of us against the other team. So shout outs to ARS, Daniel, and Tony for this one, because they were with me during this quest. So, mind you, during this time, nobody scored yet until Danny ended up setting himself up for that goal, right? Now it's 1-0. Now, mind you, as you see here, nobody on the other side scored. It was just us the whole damn time. Because it just kept going back and forth. And we were already there just to, like, take the ball out of our side to put it in theirs. So, there's that. So, from here, I got bumped. Daniel hits that. And I ended up making that shot in. Make it 2-0. Right? And a few seconds later, I ended up setting up another one. For who? Just me. So it just kept going. And a couple seconds later, here we are again. at the forefront. And who could it be? None other than me, obviously. Come on. Like, but then time kept on going, and now we're down to the final minute, trying to figure out who is going to score in the final minute. I tried to score there, it didn't work out. But Tony was like, hell yeah, I'm going to take that opportunity to make that shot. And that was it. ARS got 60 points, but I'll give him that, because that's my homie. But it was me, Daniel, and Tony that ended up with the shot. And most of it was me, with 3. So, shouts to you guys. Love y'all. You already know what to do. Well then, could imagine why I named it that. Considering the fact that it was only something to 1. Oh, this was competitive. So we were teamed up with a rando between me and Elmo. So from here we tried to score. They blocked that shot. A few seconds later, that guy didn't even make it, and he let him score. But that was the only time that they fucking scored, unfortunately, because we ended up holding them off for a long time. I'll tell you that right now, bro. So yeah, now from here, almost saved that. Then we tried to score right here. They blocked that. He shot it from mad fucking long range, but they saved it. Which I was like, alright, whatever. But now I was like, okay, it's time to make shots. And Elmo passed me a great fucking perfect pass for me to make that shot. So now it's tied up. Oh shit. So now it's tied up 1-1. Now from here, we tried to make another shot, but unfortunately on us, that didn't work out because they ended up saving it. So I was like, okay, cool. So from here, they hit it again, and the rando actually saved. So I was like, okay, that's good. And from here, nobody fucking scored. It was just completely back and forth each and every fucking time. So now we're down to the final minute. This guy tried to score, and nope, that did not work out. And it kept on being tied the whole damn time, okay? I blocked that. They tried to send it back. He got me, but I almost said, yep, I'm gonna pass it right behind and you go get it. I tried to get it, that did not work out. I hit in the air. Rando ended up saving that. So I was like, okay, cool. Somebody gotta make it. Right then and there, I said, I'll end it for you. And that's what happened. I was the guy that ended up making the most shots on that one. LOL. On Mario Day. Yeah, March 10th is Mario Day if anybody don't know, you know what I mean? Now, this is from me and Nobody. Shout outs to Nobody on this one. I didn't think that I would get a replay from you, but I did. So, in case you ended up watching this, my boy, welcome to the fucking replay collection, man. I appreciate you joining me on that one. So, yeah. It's awesome. So, yeah, we're We're orange, they're blue, right? Right then and there, we're like, okay, that's fine. Nobody hit it up with the save. I was like, fuck yeah, alright. And then he crossed him. I ended up bumping my boy, unfortunately. And they made another shot. So I was like, alright, cool. I'm not having this any longer. I'm not tolerating it. Let's make it happen. So now, this is the part where we made it happen. I started with the chaos. So I made the first shot. So that was 2-1. And then during the time being, nobody heads up with his first shot. And I was like, fuck yeah. Okay, so now we're getting some momentum here. Okay. So from here, we try to, you know, maneuver. We try to make sure that, you know, we keep our side straight. Over here, he ended up saving that shot. Bam. Boom. I already saved that one. Mind you, there's 3 saves off rip, right? So that was 2 saves. Who does the third one belong to? Well, if you want to know, it belonged to none other than nobody. But yeah, nobody ended up with that shit. And then we fucked up here. And they scored again. I was like, all right, bro, this is not happening, right? So then they're not gonna win this shit, right? And he's like, no, of course not. And I'm like, all right, cool. So let's get it popping then. I'm like, all right. So from here, right, I ended up scoring that shot. I was like, they pinpointed it to me perfect. Like there was no ifs, ands, or buts about that, right? So during the time, I was just like, okay, now that we are tied up, let's try to get the lead now. So we get that save, and then a couple of seconds later, we ended up saying, okay, sure, let's fucking figure this out together. So from here, nobody was like, yeah, I got it. And he ended up making that shot. I was like, wow, okay, I like that. So we both made 2 goals apiece. Oh shit. So yeah, over here, I set it up for him again, and bam, wouldn't you know it, he was already there. I was like, okay, nobody, I see you, bro. So I was like, all right, let's get it popping. So now that we got the lead, let's see if we can keep going. And little did we know, that's exactly what happened. Nobody was going off, bro. I'll tell you right now, bro. That motherfucker was going off, bro. Like, I was proud. But then my dumb ass said I fucked that up, and they ended up making that goal in, right? So I was like, shit, that was my fault. Whatever. I'll take the responsibility for it, right? So then, time went on. They missed that. And he said, okay, let's set this up. I was like, okay, right here, I got you. I ended up making another shot, so I was like, fuck yeah. Right then and there, I was an idiot. I should have done something there. That was on me on that one. I'll take that responsibility. So now it's 5-7, right? And then time went on, and then they almost got to us. Mind you, I know what you see. 6-7. I don't give a fuck. But yeah, we said, nah, we need to end this. We need to end this though, like real shit. So nobody ended up saving that. And I said, well, can you set this up for me? like, nah. He's like, I could, but you're over there doing what you gotta do. And I was like, yeah, fuck it. You know what I mean? I'll do it my damn self. And yeah, we ended up with 4 goals apiece. But he was the MVP of that game. So shout outs to nobody on that one. Appreciate you, brother. You already know, man. Much love over here. But I believe this was the last game that me and him played before the next season started. Yeah. Again, shout out to nobody on this one. So, over here in the first few seconds, we already started a goal right here, which was me. Mind you, I brought back the Animus. I didn't think I was going to bring back the Animus, but I brought back the Animus. And, yeah, that was my fault there. I was like, alright, that's fine. It's fine, they scored one, okay, whatever. So right here, I ended up fucking up, and I didn't fucking hit that. And they scored again. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Down by 1. You can do this still. But, again, from here on out, little did they know. That's the last time that they ended up scoring. As they saved that shot, right? We tried to bring it back, but that didn't work out. So now from here, I ended up hitting that, but the funny thing was that the opponent said, yeah, I'll make it in for you. So there's that. So now it's 2-2 with 3 something on the clock. As time went on, dude hits it on our side when he should have been hitting it on the other side. And nobody with the shot, you know what I mean? Like, doesn't stop him here. So now, you know, we're in the lead, 3-2. He tries to set this up. I ended up getting the save there. We tried to score, didn't work out. And then from here, we tried to, you know, get it out of our way. And then he saved it, I believe. And then he tried to score, and they saved it. So I was like, damn, all right, well, it's time for us to figure out how we're going to make this shot. You know what I mean? So with the final minute left, we said, okay, let's set up. Right here, I said, yep, right there. Gotcha. And we tried to make another shot here, but that didn't work out due to the fact that, you know, they were there, obviously. But that was their last save. And that was it. So shout outs to nobody again. Love you for that. And yeah, that was it from season 21 of Rocket League. Now we're on season 22. And yes, I did start it out on the day. I believe this was it Wednesday? Some shit? I think it was. But yeah, what a season debut. I think this was a random. I'm not too sure. Could be. Yeah, it is. So yeah, first things first. Shout out to Rando, Jay Cortez. Appreciate you for you know, for helping me out here. So over here, we tried to score, didn't work out. They went to our side, and bam, right there, Jay Cortez with the block. And then I got blocked, and then Jay Cortez said, yeah, you know what? No, that's going back. So he ends up scoring the first shot, which is 1-0 now. And then a little bit later, Wait. Oh, this was the backwards goal right here. Okay, hold on. Oh my jeez Louise. Okay, so from here, right? I'm over here on this side. So I'm like, oh shit. He's about to hit it. He hits it, so I'm like, okay, what do I do here? Like, should I go for it? And Jay Cortez said, I'll go for it. And I was like, okay, this is a good moment. I could literally hit this in from here. So I tried. Right here, bam, I could have had that shit. But whatever, it went to a whole different direction. So I'm like, okay, this could be a difficult situation. Because I didn't think that like I would score from this position that I'm about to show you. Now, it hits the wall. I went forward with boost just so I can be ahead of the ball. Look at this. From right here, I hit the ball. And I backwards the bitch. Right for them to have it. Told you I missed the bullshit for a good reason. Nah, am I right or am I right? But anyway, 2-0, right? So now during the time, I'm like, okay, I get this save. So alright, time flew by. And then he tries to shoot from here. That guy saves it. Okay, so then they try to, you know, score themselves. When, from here, Jay Cortez says, nope, I'm not letting you score. So then, as time kept on going, they actually decided to score. I tried to get there on time, but that did not work out. So, there's that, right? Yeah, it didn't work out very well, but anyway, time went on, right? And funny enough, we tried to defend this shot right here that they were about to do, but yeah, I failed that. That was literally on me. I should have went back there. But I answered back. And there you have it. Like, there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know what I mean? Like, there was a save right here from us. But, yeah, other than that, that was pretty much it. What a season debut. Same day. Damn! Now, this one is a team one. Is between them versus me, Danny, and Andrew. So my son is here too. Oh yeah, so My son got the Beamer, right? So jeez. So I ended up making the first shot, right? Mind you, as you see right here, like, it's all us. It's nobody else, which is crazy, right? So, whatever, right? So then Andrew sets it up with that, but he gave it right to them, just so they could make his shot for him. So, that was crazy work. So now, from here, Andrew was like, okay, I got this, right? So now, let's hit that. But then Daniel said, don't worry, I got your back. Ends up scoring. So now it's 3-0. And as time kept on going, Daniel hits up with the save. With the setup. And Andrew with the fucking corner shot. Like, damn, that shit was quick like no other. Right? And a few seconds went by. And I ended up with the final goal. And my son ended up being the MVP that day. Awesome. 2 days later. GG. Now, mind you, this is me, ARS, Daniel, and Tony, right? Need another game of 4v4. Which I'm kind of pissed off about because, like, it's not ranked anymore. So, that's kind of crazy how you guys took out ranked quads. Psionics. Anyway, so from here, I ended up making the first shot. Like, fuck yeah. Awesome. So, they're alright. Time flew on. And from here, they were trying to make the shot here. And I ended up with that crazy save from the side. Fucking ballistic. Like, it kept on being on our side the whole fucking time. I'll tell you that right now, bro. Like, it was definitely on our side. Didn't want to, like, get out of there whatsoever. And then by the time that we got it to their side, they brought it right back to our side. And I was like, damn. And that happened. I was unfortunate for me to not capture that, but that's what happened. It is what it is. I can't, say anything neither here or there. You know what I mean? That was pretty much my fault there. So then, time went on a little bit. We tried to score right here. They saved that. And then we tried to score again in overtime, but that did not work out. But I'll let this overtime play so that you can see exactly what happened, right? So now, ball is up. I ended up hitting this just so I can give it to Tony, and they saved it. So I was like, okay, find another way. It's fine. So I bumped some guy there. Daniel couldn't have that, but he ended up fucking turning that shit into their possession. So I was like, alright. Get this shit out of here. Tony said, get that shit out of here. And I ended up fucking hitting that fucking power shot just to end the game. Crazy work, isn't it? Just stop. So yeah, we ended up with that save, right? Oh no, they ended up with the save, sorry. We just turned purple now. So from here, we tried to make another shot. Tony was trying to make that, and he got robbed. You've been robbed. No, but so from here, we actually did make one from here. From Daniel. Shout out to Daniel and the Scarab. So whatever, right? Time went on. Trying to, you know, get this going. And they saved that. So I was like, alright, cool. We ain't gonna let this happen again, right? So back and forth ping pong going around, like just trying to fucking figure out who's gonna score the next shot. And yeah, that ended up being Tony again. So now it was Tony and Daniel that ended up making their shots, right? I tried to make one, they saved it. I was like, alright, bro, I'm done with this shit. So I made one my own. So yeah, that's what made them race quit. So I was like, yeah, that's why I said just stop. Like, you're done. Like, you know you're done. Like, I can't tell you any more than what it is. Yeesh. Same setup, but I believe it was... I don't think so. Could be, I don't know. But we had a little thing that happened, but I think it ain't this one. So then Tony ends up scoring the first shot. I was like, all right, Tony, I see you, Tony. Right? So then over here, I ended up saving that. I was like, all right, awesome, love that. And then they tried to make another shot right here. Again, saved it. I was like, fuck yeah. Alright. So then from here, kept on going. A little bit of time going. And then tried to make another one. We saved it. A few seconds later, Tony tried to send it. Save it again. I was like, damn, alright. We need to figure it out. So during the time we tried to figure it out, I hit that. And then right then and there, that was Tony with the save. But they ended up scoring. So I was like, damn, okay. Alright. No, that's fine. That's fine. Like it is what it is, right? So then time kept on going during the time that we were trying to figure out who was going to score the next goal. Turns out it was us, and it was in this possession right here that ended up doing that, which was Danny ended up with the motherfucking shot. And now they made it 2-1. Like, they tried, you know what I mean? They tried to, like, score, but the thing is that, like, they tried too hard, you know what I mean? Especially for a casual force. But I'm guessing this is just for whatever. So from here they saved it, right? And I was just like, nah, I just need something. So I ended up pulling the assist and gave Daniel the last shot with 30 seconds left on the clock. And that's how that ended. And we got it to 3-1, right? Get the fuck out of here. Good game. Yeah, it was the same people. So yeah, this was a series between us teams, right? So we won that first game, but they ended up winning the second game. So this is pretty much the one that determined everything between us. Okay? So from here, they ended up actually scoring the first possession, which you'll see right here. And they fooled us, right? So then Daniel tried to score here. They saved it. So, alright, whatever. Time kept on going, and we ended up tying the game right here in this shot. See, Tony hit that. Dude hits this, and I said, somebody go get that, and ARS actually made the shot. So now it was 1-1. Mind you, during the time they were talking shit to ARS because they were saying to him that he has like low points and shit, so he has something to prove that day. Yeah, they were trying to be toxic towards us and shit like that. But especially towards ARS, but we were just having a ball, just fucking seeing how salty they were, because they were really salty. I can't even lie to you, bro. Like, they were. So yeah, ARS saves that, right? Mind you, it's still 1-1, and you're about to see what the fuck happened at the end. I'm gonna let this shit play out because it's really too quick. Hold on, because this is where shit gets real, and I need you to see this shit for real, in my eyes at least. So this all resorts to me, okay? Because this was on me. So I jumped, went forward, touched it. It fucking ricocheted towards that wall. I was already upside down. I flipped my car up. And I was just like, wait a minute, this might be going in. I said, yo, bro, this might be going in. And wouldn't you know it, it actually fucking did. Like, now I want you to see this in full action, because it was really quick. You couldn't see it. And then I told them right after that, get the fuck out of here. Good game. Too much for him. Speaking about too much. This was between me and Elmo against those two, right? So they scored on our first possession. And I was like, okay, all right, that's fine. That's fine, whatever. So then a couple seconds later, we scored again. I was like, damn, that's my fault. I'll take the responsibility for that. And yeah, that was literally their last shot that they were going to make in. Because from here, it was pure dominance by us. So we tried to score here. They saved it. So I was like, all right, cool. So then a lot of seconds went by. And we tried to make another one here. I hit this one just so he can get to this. And they blocked it. And he ends up doing that. No, I want y'all to look at it again. And I'm going to do it in slow motion as well. So, look at how Elmo is. Elmo is a fucking beast in this game. He will always find a way to make crazy shots like no other. So from here, right? He tried to score. But the Fennec saved the ball. So it's like, okay, now what to do here? Because it's still on their side, but we need to make a fucking goal. So I'm over here. I bumped him by accident like a fucking idiot. I was like, shit. So I was like, alright, fuck, what to do here? So then, from this angle, I don't know how the fuck he pulled it, but for some odd reason, he definitely did. And I guess it was the help with the other team, pretty much. But for us, he ended up hitting me just so he could make this shot. He went over both of them to make this shot. And I didn't even think that this was going in. I thought it was going to hit the corner. But the motherfucker said, nah, I got it. Hold my motherfucking joint, bro. And made that bitch in. I didn't even believe it. But whatever. Neither here or there, okay? But then I stopped the ball from going anywhere just for him to make another shot. So now we're tied up 2-2. Mind you, he's back. He was back in his old fucking favorite car, which is the Endo. So, and I'm over here with fucking Lightning McQueen. So, during the time, it was on our side. I said, blast it over there. And I Kobe'd that motherfucker. Like, off rip. Like, you didn't even think that I would, but I would, you know what I mean? And I ended up typing that shit too. But he ended up setting it up. I thought I had it right there. I fucked up by popping it up. He was like, okay, I gotcha. I'm telling you, Elmo knows how to fucking make shots like no other. And from here, Elmo hits it to their side, goes there. Dude misses, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'll take it. And that was pretty much the end of it, because they actually forfeited. Jeez Louise. What a fucking game. And now we are down to our final replay, which was 2 days ago. And it was between none other than me and Elmo and a random. So yeah, a little time went. And from there, Elmo made the first shot. But then, a few seconds later, oh, we made another one. And it was me. So now it was 2-0. And from here, they tried to score. But Elmo came through with the save. So then they tried again. This time, I saved it. And then I ended up making that shot because I didn't know where it was going. Personally, I was like, well, this could go anywhere. So I said, yeah, you know what? I need to, yeah. Actually, this could be, oh yeah, this is, my bad. This ain't a random. This is actually one of my best friends, no, my wife's best friend's brother-in-law. That's what it was. But anyway, mind you, we were in competitive, so that makes it better for us. So they ended up saving that, but I said, nah, fuck that. We need to make that in. So yeah, we made that. I was going off this game. I can't even lie to you, bro. Like, I already had 3 goals already. But then we fucked up here. Yeah, that didn't work out. So I was like, okay, 4-1, fine. They scored 1, okay, cool. And then the brother-in-law ended up saving that. So I don't know where Elmo's save was, but that was supposed to be a save there. So then the last 4 things that happened, well, they tried to score. Almost saved it. We tried to score. They saved it. And then in the final minute, they said, we're going to score one more time. And then we said, nah, we're going to score one more time. Which was Elmo. And Elmo pretty much made them forfeit and ended the game, which was 5-2. And he was the MVP of that game. But that will do it for this replay collection. I gotta collect more replays now. So there's that. So yeah, that is it, guys. It took me almost 2 hours. That's crazy work. A little bit a little bit or a lot more less than the last one. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and IBJ1 until I die, and I will see you guys in the next run. Peace.